Live at the Radisson Hotel in Green Bay. This is Locker Room with Local 5 Sports Director Bert Griffith.
The Packers pounced on the Panthers early, but Carolina came up with a comeback in the second half, only to see Green Bay walk away with a game-winning kick. And now a Sunday night showdown with the Vikings will decide who is playing for the playoffs and who is looking toward next season. Get ready for another edition of Locker Room. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Locker Room right side here inside the Cedar and Sage restaurant at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. Well, the Packers can still finish with a winning record, but there's no margin for error with 2 games to go against NFC North opponents. Here to talk about that and everything in the green and gold, former Packer player and coach and 3-time Super Bowl champion, Harry Sidney.
Hello there, how we doing? What's up, bud?
Wasn't pretty, but you don't have to apologize for wins, like we've always said.
Wins are wins, and they found a way to make a play at the end. It's all about making a play. They did.
Carolina had the worst record going in, but they were coming off a win. They've got players who are playing for their jobs and the future. They've got a lot of young guys, including one of the, a top pick quarterback. And the Packers got to him early in those first couple of drives, blitzing, and things worked really well, at least in the first half, and they ran the football effectively again.
Aaron Jones came out unbelievable. You've been waiting for that impact. He made an impact. And they did all the things. Defense early, Van Ness made a sack.
Yep.
And you saw guys making plays, and all of a sudden, later on in the game, and we'll get to it, all of a sudden, they forgot to do what they were doing early.
Right. Well, A.J. Dillon scores the first touchdown, then Jordan Love, the short yardage gain.
Nice.
That game was working well for those guys. Carolina answered with a touchdown, but a guy who no one ever even talked about, Dontavian Wicks, another great grab for a touchdown. I mean, whether it's him, Malik Heath, we already knew what we had with Romeo Doubs, but now these other guys.
Yeah, we knew, but we didn't know. And then with Watson's injury, all of a sudden you have a bunch of young guys. I mean, if you look at the wide receivers, and a couple weeks ago we had Kraft on this guy, the backup tight end, whatever, this guy's a player.
Yep.
You look at that young wide receiver and tight end corps, and you look at the future, you go, man, this is in a good place.
Can we tell Tucker to not stop leaping?
Well, we got to have a conversation, man. You don't jump anymore.
You want a 10-year career, not a 5-year career.
Well, because what he has to understand, he has to change it up. One time you jump, one time you run right into him, and then the third time they don't know what you're going to do. But you can't keep jumping, man.
Protect that tailbone a little bit. All right.
There's a lot of things you want to protect,
right,
man. Let's just say that.
Let's
just say that.
The week before, that was one where got hit in the helmet somewhere you don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
All right, second half a little bit different. They traded some field goals, and all of a sudden, Chuba Hubbard, he starts running all over the place. Bryce Young starts making some pretty good throws and decisions. We got a ball game right to the very wire.
And not only that, but then all of a sudden Carolina's tight end Trimble gets involved.
Yeah.
He starts making big plays up the middle. And then when that happens, now defensively you're not sure how to play. And then all of a sudden you go, oh, that's why they drafted him number 1.
Yeah, they scored 2 touchdowns in a 2.5-minute stretch. 3 in a matter of 14 or 15 minutes overall, from the end of the third quarter to about 3-4 minutes left in the end of the game. But then Romeo Doubs comes up with the acrobatic catch down the sidelines. They tried to review it. I don't know. I guess one shoulder and one cheek works for being inbounds, right?
Here's the deal. You got to take advantage of the opportunities that you get.
Right.
Because sometimes it'll go against you. A great job being there, whether it was catch or not. We've had that conversation, but they still made the kick, and then they stopped them. Whether it was 1 second or not, they stopped them.
And I will say this, for the handful of misses that Anders Carlson has had when it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
This one mattered, and he knocked it home.
Delivered.
And that's a good sign for the
Is
future.
that it? I'm just curious. Like I said, is that his first game winning?
Not a walk-off winner because they did get the ball, but a first game winner.
Winner for him, yeah. Well, this is
absolutely.
great for confidence.
All right, time now for our U.S. Cellular call of the game. This is kind of an easy one. We've already mentioned it. Faced with 3rd and 4 at their own 31-yard line With just over 2.5 minutes to go, Jordan Love drops back, finds Romeo Dobbs deep. Somehow he comes down with it inbounds. The completion was challenged, but upheld. That is our U.S. Cellular call of the game.
Yeah, and it was so familiar. First of all, the floor, great job moving him.
Yep.
But what you also saw is I saw a little Devontae Adams wiggle.
Yep.
And break to the flat. Great throw, caught it. Big
All right,
time.
when we come back, it is time to meet our special player guest of the week. He
Yes,
is the
sir.
pride of
Yes, sir.
Iola, Wisconsin. Packers linebacker Christian Welch is in the house. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Locker Room right here in the Cedar and Sage restaurant at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. He's Harry Sidney, our special guest, the pride of Iola. If you couldn't hear the loud crowd out
Yes.
there. Packers linebacker and special teamer Christian Welch, everybody. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Love it. Congratulations, man. Appreciate it. Nice.
Thanks for having me.
Nice.
I would say half the crowd here, half the town of Iola might be here right now, literally.
Right, yeah.
What for you, is it a dream come true? I know it seems like
Yeah.
a simple question to ask anybody from Wisconsin, but you could have grown up a Bears fan. I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
grew up
though?
a Packer fan. Being so close to here, I've come to a handful of games when I was growing up. Ultimately, to play for your hometown team it's a dream come true, and there's a lot of work that went into it, and it kind of happened on a whim, kind of throughout the process, But that's the NFL, right? Like you
Right.
get picked up here, and you just run with your opportunities.
So in that process, who is it that you call to say, you can't believe this, but this happened? Who is that person?
That's my wife, my
Okay.
dad, my parents, all the people that have been like such a support piece to me really my whole life, but especially with this career, it's not easy, there's a lot of ups and downs, and I've had so much good support from starting with my wife.
Well, I think generally speaking, everybody knows about Iola because of the car show. Now that's when that's where the car show is. That big, huge
Yep.
one. You guys, including your teammates growing up, that was a way to make some money for the football program, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We would work, we put wristbands on folks coming in. We would do the car show cleanup at the end. I mean, yeah, it really funded a lot of the sports teams, the school, everything, the whole community.
And I know that's your coach over there, which is
Yeah.
awesome. You got to be proud. What's that one thing that you can't get out of your mind that he told you?
I think he just instilled like work ethic into me. It started when I was 6th grade. We had speed training. He still does it now. And I like to jump back into the old gym and get
Right.
a workout in with coach,
Yes.
so I like to chop it up a little bit. But it started then. I had great parents that instilled hard work into me early on in my life, but Coach Erickson has always been, someone that's really just instilled those principles early on in my I was just a kid, but
Right.
I would come in before school and we're running different sprints, doing different drills, change of direction, all kinds of stuff to just kind of, get those type of skills that ultimately pay off in your sports when you play, so it started there. Yeah.
And you've made it to the NFL as a linebacker on defense.
Yeah.
We've only got offensive video from high school because at those small
Yeah.
towns you got to go. You got to play both ways. So you
man,
you did it all, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a favorite high school play or memory that sticks out?
I don't know if there's one in particular. There's a couple games against Kewanee my junior year. We were the 6th seed. I think they were the 2 or 3 seed. We were going over to their place, and we had a great group of guys, as we did really every year. But I just remember that game. It was all foggy. It was kind of hazy.
Yep. Over on the lake shore. Yep. Been there many times.
Yeah, exactly.
There he is. That's Scott Erickson, folks. Iola Scandinavia's head coach.
Yeah, big
Give him
shout
a big
out to
round of
him.
applause.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Because you know what? His staff and the community have really built quite the program. I remember going to an Iola Scandinavia, Wyawega Fremont, both undefeated toward the end of the season, and we went out there and it was like a rock. Both towns were there.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so packed. It was everything about what Friday Night Football meant. Is that what you feel growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the cowbells. The whole town was there. I have a lot of great memories just of the community coming together, on a Friday night, and man, it was just so much fun.
This is your fourth year. You had 3 elsewhere with the Ravens and here.
Yep.
What's that one play that you remember?
Like throughout my NFL career?
Yeah,
or
through your
throughout
NFL
the
career.
whole
No,
football career?
no, the NFL career. Because if I still remember, you got childhood, you were great in
Yeah.
high school, you had college. There's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
The football play, the NFL play.
I think just coming down on kickoff and just
Like you did
absolute
yesterday?
unloading.
Like, you should have got the tackle. I'm just
Unloading,
telling you.
yeah. Unloading on someone. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple plays that I can think of. I was actually playing the Bears when I was with Baltimore. They didn't even block me. I was at the L5. And I'm like, they gonna pay. They are going to pay. I came down and
Directional kick?
Yeah,
Okay.
right to my side too.
Okay,
So
okay.
that play sticks in my mind. Yeah, just coming down and hitting guys. All the touchbacks that we experienced and the fair catch rule and everything. You know, I always say we do a lot of running. We don't do as much hitting.
Right.
And I like to run and hit.
Right.
So.
My
You know what I
type
mean?
of guy.
So,
You're my type of
yeah,
guy.
And you actually brought it up. Patrick Taylor got credit for that first tackle against Carolina, but he's the guy.
He's the guy that hit it.
He's the guy who made the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, you know what? Though, take us back to August. Labor Day weekend rolls around, and it's a day off for most common folk out there.
Yeah.
It is grind time for all the players who are waiting to not get a call or not. So you all of a sudden you're out of a job, and the Packers called you. What was it? The Saturday before? Whatever it was. It was the weekend right before. It was right
the
after
day before the
between the final preseason game and when the rosters need to be set.
right.
Where were you? What was that like? And
It was a whirlwind. You know, yeah, you get cut, right? Like that's the NFL. If you've never gotten cut, you just haven't been in the NFL long enough, you know. So
And that's a true statement right there.
right. So yeah, you get cut, and then you just kind of, you know, your agent, you're talking with him on and off, and you're like, hey, there's a couple teams that are interested. You know, kind of see how it shakes out, and we get to kind of going through that process. And I was actually taking my dog to the vet. She's just getting some shots, and I get the call from agent. I better take this call. You know, like,
yeah, right.
get on the phone. He's like, hey, you're gonna go to the Green Bay, and I'm like, that's awesome. You know, whatever. He's like, yeah, your flight leaves in like 2 hours. So like, I had a bag packed, you know, and everything. But yeah, I got on the flight right to Green Bay here, and it's been an awesome ride ever since. Really, I've really enjoyed it.
Very cool. All right, when we come back on Locker Room, we'll have our keys to the game and our 1-minute drill. But first, it's time for the Easy Tap Fan Cam. You're watching Locker Room right here at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center in Green Bay. Welcome back to Locker Room right here at the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. That is Greg Bintz and family. Greg, the guy on the right there. Yeah, he's a little bit of a clown tonight. We like him. We love him. He was our former floor director here for the Locker Room Show a couple years ago. We also like to send our best wishes to Tom and Janice Van Stratton, both a little bit under the weather right now.
Yeah,
Tom's
not the same.
30 plus years.
Yeah.
Usually right there. Tom, get better.
Get well, bud.
Thinking of you. All right. The Vikings up next. It doesn't get any bigger, better. Sunday night football. Everything's at stake.
You name it,
the
yeah.
winner still has a chance. The loser is pretty much toast. It's a playoff game, and it's going to be for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying these are playoff games really for a few weeks now. So, I mean, that's really been the mentality, the mindset. But it's the NFL, you know, you got to bring your stuff every week. And, you know, anything can really happen. In Minnesota, you're playing them, it's a divisional opponent. You're playing them again, twice in their place. So it's going to be a great challenge. I'm excited. We're going to have a great week of preparation, and we'll be ready to go.
In that preparation, I know their tight end he was out.
DJ Hawkinson, done.
Actually, a really good friend of mine. Too,
Yeah,
by the way,
and that's he's a big
Miles.
threat. Does that change the preparation with him out the loop? Do you
Sure.
still, because you got to pay attention to him, but now that there's
Right.
another guy in his spot,
Sure.
does that change your preparation?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain coverages you might, you know, kind of lean a certain way, this and that. They have 18, you know,
Yeah.
as well, which they didn't have last time we played them. So, yeah, you certainly have to know where he's at on the field. But yeah, like Josh Oliver is actually one of their tight ends too, and I was a teammate with him in Baltimore, so I know
You've been
him.
around a long time, man. You know a lot of
little
people.
bit. Yeah, you know, the longer you're around, the more guys you play with, and you know, it's a big community, right? Guys move around, and you know, so yeah, Josh Oliver is a great player. I kind of know his strengths and stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, he'll be stepping into his role. I'm sure his role will increase with this game and stuff. So yeah, I mean they'll find a way to distribute the ball to their playmakers as any good team would.
Well, that's the Iowa Hawkeye program. They not only produce draft picks, they also have undrafted free agents who make it to the NFL. Look, Minnesota, they started with 3 straight losses. They were on their 3rd straight quarterback. Now Nick Mullins is in there. They had a huge game against the Lions. You can walk right. You feel like, hey, we can walk in there and get one now.
Sure.
I mean, get a win.
Because he'll put it up.
Yep.
He'll put it up.
Yep. And as a defensive guy, you got to be licking your chops a little bit. If you stop the run first, then you can get after the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to establish the run game like any good team should in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly going to be opportunities, and to go out and execute on those opportunities, take advantage.
All right. Well, every week we go in the locker room, on Locker Room. Here's this week's edition of In the Zone, presented by Oneida Nation.
Here with Packers linebacker Isaiah McDuffie. Isaiah, I want to take it back to your Boston College days. You play in the ACC, you get recognition there. How do you feel like the ACC prepped you for the NFL game?
I'll say well. Playing against a lot of good players in that conference definitely, got me used to the speed of the game and, ready for the next level.
You mentioned speed. You come into this season and you kind of get thrusted into a huge role and making a lot of tackles. How has that been for you?
It's been fun. This season's been a lot of fun, and, we control our own destiny, and, at the end of the day, we just want to win games.
Something I see from you is just the energy you have when you make a tackle. For some guys, it's when they make a catch, but when you bulldoze a guy down, it just seems like you have a lot of energy. Where does that stem from?
Just my love for the game, I guess. Just the passion, just playing the game that I love. So every time I make a play, it just kind of shows, I guess.
Where does that love come from? Why was football, your one true love?
I've just been around it my whole life. I come from a family who all played football, my dad, my uncle. So I've always been around the game, and, it's just something I love to do.
Was there ever a point in your athletic career that you didn't think football was it? You try any other sports? Any of those pique your interest?
Yeah, I played baseball. It was always baseball and football, but I always knew football was the one for sure.
What position in baseball?
I played pitcher in center field.
Okay.
Yep. So.
Never thought that pitching would be for you? You like hitting too much?
Yeah, I mean, football was just always my passion. I liked baseball, but I didn't love it like I love football.
So, obviously you play football, you play in the NFL, that's going to take up most of your time, but the day-to-day life of Isaiah McDuffie, what does it look like?
I'm kind of a homebody, just like to relax, hang around the house, hang with the family.
Any specific things that you like to do when you're at home, when you're doing nothing?
Yeah, that's watching a movie, spending quality time. I got a dog, taking her for a walk, just doing simple stuff like that.
And now I have to ask, favorite movie and what kind of dog do you have?
I guess Christmas time. So my favorite Christmas movie, probably Elf, I would say, and I have a husky, so a lot of energy. So I got to take him for a bunch of walks. That energy. He's running around the house and stuff, so gotta take him out a bunch of times. So.
All right, thanks, fellas. Time now for our 1-minute drill. Quick Q&A. Best thing you bought with your money?
Shoot, I don't know. A house.
A house. Car you drive?
Chevy Silverado.
Favorite jam you go to while you're driving it?
Anything Luke Combs.
Luke Combs. All right. Biggest influence in your life?
My parents.
Favorite NFL player growing up?
Luke Kuechly.
Well, Luke Kuechly. If you could be an athlete in a different sport, who would it be?
Ooh. Probably just Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. All right, Las Vegas or the beach?
Neither.
Neither. Dogs or cats? You'd be hunting in the woods, wouldn't you?
I've been fishing on a lake somewhere.
Fishing somewhere. All right, well, this should be easy. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Golf or fishing?
Fishing.
Steak, fish, or chicken?
Chicken.
And finally, for Christian Welch, what was your favorite Christmas present this year?
I actually got new lithium batteries for my bass fishing boat.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, there you go.
He's pretty simple, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Simple Wisconsin guy. The pride of Iola. When we come back, we'll have our keys to the game right here on Locker Room. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Locker Room. That's Roger and Bonnie Bricko from Wapaka, enjoying the best seats in the house, courtesy of Viper Industrial. Sunday night football doesn't get any bigger or better. We talked a little bit about the Vikings on the football field. Time now for our keys to the game, brought to you by the dispensary. Always start fast in a dome. Try to take the crowd out of it. Stop the run first. Make Nick Mullins or whoever's playing quarterback try to beat you, and limit turnovers, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things I was just going to say. Stop the run. That starts there. And then, you got to win the turnover takeaway battle. I mean, that is the leading reason in winning losses in really any football game, but especially NFL.
The key is if you get a chance, defensive backs to catch the ball, catch it. Turnovers.
Christian Welch, everybody. Thanks for watching Locker Room. See you next week.
Thank you for watching Locker Room.